What's good everyone, Muhōmono here. As many of you seen, Rockstar has finally released a second trailer for the most anticipated game of all time, Grand Theft Auto 6. To no one's surprise, the trailer is incredible, showing off its stunning visuals, larger-than-life world and characters, and some hits at its narrative. While everyone seemed to love it, I've seen some people complain and say, but there's no gameplay, where is the gameplay? And I feel like people have forgotten how Rockstar markets their games. I don't really blame people for that because yeah, it's been almost 8 years since their last game was first revealed and marketed, and over a decade since the last GTA. Many people think that if the camera is behind your character and has the HUD, it's not gameplay. It's also just not how you make a cinematic trailer for a game. That's why since Max Payne 3, Rockstar has done gameplay overview videos for all their games after they release a few cinematic trailers. But these cinematic trailers all include gameplay segments. If you remember the way Rockstar markets their games and you take a deep look at many of the shots in the trailer, many of these scenes seem to be gameplay taken from different camera angles. And to prove that, we're going to go back and look at previous marketing efforts from Rockstar, including old trailers from previous games. We'll do that because the way this new trailer is structured is very similar to some trailers from their older games, which included many of the same gameplay taken from ultimate camera angle shots. We'll go through the new trailer scene by scene, pointing out what's a cutscene and what's gameplay. Let's do it. The trailer starts off with one of the protagonists, Jason Duval, fixing leaks in the roof when he is approached by Brian Heater. Brian is a drug runner who uses his boat company as a way of smuggling. He also owns the home Jason is working on and lets him live there while Jason helps him with some of his business ventures. Brian tells Jason that he has some properties with paying tenants and to just go get him his checks. This is likely an early mission in the game, and this scene may be the first quick flash of gameplay we get with the transition. Jason walks into the home likely preparing for the mission, but you notice as he walks in, the camera slowly moves behind him like it's beginning to transition to gameplay seamlessly. If you played any Rockstar games since Max Payne 3, you know this is nothing new to them. Assuming this is an early mission, this likely transitions into the house and probably gives you a tutorial. For example, on how to change your clothes at your safe house, considering Jason is shirtless and entering the home to prepare. The next scene shows Jason driving as an NPC calls out to him. Considering how dynamic this interaction feels with Jason's reaction, I'm leaning more towards this being part of a cutscene. But this next scene, I think is purely all gameplay. Jason seems to be quote-unquote collecting one of the checks from one of Brian's tenants with the back of his hand. After Jason smacks the man, you can see his animation kind of looks like he's returning to an idle animation with the bat in his other hand. It then cuts to Jason taking money out of the register with this animation that looks something straight out of Red Dead Redemption 2. Almost guaranteed this is like RDR2 when you walk up to a register and hold a button like square to interact with the register, which plays this animation. This also maybe acts as a tutorial on how to stick up convenience stores, which you may be able to do whenever in the game. You also see the man he just beat up cowering on the floor injured looking up at him, and once again this feels ripped straight from RDR2. You could probably walk up to that man and choose to threaten him, hit him, etc. just like Red Dead. I think this whole scene right here is gameplay. Next we get a first person scene of Jason driving to his next destination. This scene also feels like gameplay. This could also straight up be a zoomed in shot of gameplay driving in first person. Considering GTA 5 later got an official first person camera angle with its Xbox One and PS4 release, and Red Dead Redemption 2 launched with a first-person camera, I would be shocked if GTA 6 did launch with it. Next we see Jason lifting weights as a couple ladies oogle at him. I'm personally mixed on whether this is gameplay or not. Both trailers and screenshots from the site show Jason looking pretty different. They show shots where his hair is completely different and he even looks slimmer but less muscular. This has led many to believe that the weight mechanics from GTA San Andreas are returning. If this is the case, this can 100% be gameplay and be the return of the weightlifting minigame. Next scene we see Jason walking out of a convenience store with a case of beer. I think this is gameplay once again, just with the camera lowered. The main reason why I feel that is because look at Jason's walk cycle. It looks very game-like and doesn't feel scripted and part of a cutscene. I could be wrong. The case of beer makes me curious if this is actually part of a cutscene or gameplay from a mission where you get beer, or gameplay showing that you can just straight up buy cases of beer whenever. If this trailer isn't chronological order, then it seems Jason getting the beers may be part of the mission before he picks up Lucia or other protagonists so they can share a drink. The next scene shows Jason driving by a shakedown as he presumably heads towards to pick up Lucia from prison. I'm not sure if this is gameplay and one of the events you may dynamically stumble past throughout the world or just part of a cutscene. The next few scenes are clearly cutscenes as Jason picks up Lucia and they have a bit of bonding and robbing. Later in the trailer, we see a very quick shot of an officer monitoring people doing community service. Believe it or not, I think this is actually gameplay. We see throughout the trailer Lucia Lucia wearing an ankle monitor as she is likely under the conditions of probation, being fresh out of jail. The people doing community service are wearing orange vests, which we see Lucia wearing in a later scene. This lady in the front is definitely Lucia, as she is wearing the same clothing from the later scene and has the same necklace. The only difference is that her hair is in a braid, which we get a full look at in one of the screenshots on the website. Rockstar is no stranger to making their players do remedial tasks in their games, so it would not surprise me at all if this is a gameplay portion from a mission. Next we get more cutscenes of Jason and Lucia bonding, partying, and causing havoc. Then there is a shot of Jason shooting a pistol out of a moving car. I think this shot is 1000% gameplay, as Jason's model looks lower quality than most of the other cutscene shots in the trailer, and the lighting isn't as well set up as the other shots throughout the trailer. The animations, while still great looking, look like what we would expect from gameplay. Lucia is likely the one driving while Jason shoots. You probably get a choice to shoot as Jason or drive as Lucia, which existed in some missions in GTA 5. Later we get back-to-back cuts of Jason and Lucia getting into brawls. These are both likely gameplay shots. We see Jason use the environment around him by slamming a guy into a nearby parked car. Using the environment was also a feature in Red Dead Redemption 2. Then we see Lucia doing a hook kick on another combatant in an MMA octagon style ring, likely alluding to some type of fighting ring activity like in the Ballad of Gay Tony. These shots, funny enough, remind me of the third GTA 4 trailer showing multiple cuts of Nico beating guys up. As we know now, this was all gameplay. Later, we get a shot of Lucia firing a grenade launcher at pursuing police. This is likely from the same heist shown earlier in the trailer and shown in a clip on the website. I also believe this is gameplay and part of the same mission. Next, we get a shot of a truck using its winch to drag and steal a safe, almost something out of the movie Fast 5. This also seems like maybe a gameplay portion from a mission, as towing mechanics have already existed in the series and it would only make sense that they would be in this game as well. Later, we get a shot of a TV playing an advertisement for Phil's Ammunition and showing off what seems to be a new version of Phil Cassidy from GTA 3 and Vice City. While it is very likely you will be able to sit down and watch TV like every game since GTA 4, I do think this specific scene is part of a cutscene. Right after that, we get a scene with Jason piloting a buzzard helicopter, and this very much seems like gameplay and potentially part of a mission again. Jason and Lucia on a jet ski, gameplay. Jason on a motorcycle, gameplay. Jumping from a motorcycle into a truck, probably a cutscene, but from gameplay. Kind of reminds me of GTA 5 when you fly a plane into the inside of a cargo plane as Trevor. Later, we see Jason driving a boat as Lucia shoots at a police chopper. Once again, like the previously mentioned drive-by scene with Jason, you likely get a choice of who to control during this segment. Then right after that, we get a scene with Jason on a dirt bike seemingly trying to get to Lucia as she's chased down by people with weapons. Lucia is in the convertible ahead as we see in the cut after, but the people chasing her notice Jason behind them as the gunman turns to aim his weapon at Jason. It then cuts to Jason jumping off the bike onto the convertible that Lucia is driving. This is likely all gameplay and isn't the first time in a GTA game we've seen characters jumping onto convertibles during gameplay. The last shot of the trailer shows Jason driving as Lucia hangs out of the window as the camera pans out. This is also likely gameplay and is something we saw in the first trailer with Lucia hanging out of the convertible as Jason drives. And that's it for the trailer. The trailer seems to show off a lot of scenes that are potentially gameplay segments. Now we wait for that gameplay overview to find out if I'm stupid and wrong, but I'm confident that most of what we saw was gameplay, just at different camera angles and using development tools. My guess is that we'll get another cinematic trailer by the end of the year, then gameplay overviews, one of them featuring the new online component leading up to release. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I don't usually make content like this, but it was a special occasion, and what occasion is more special than GTA 6? Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment if you think I missed anything or just hype for the game. Also, let me know if I should make more content breaking down the game. I'll see y'all later. Peace.